We have installed monofilament lines on the west, the north, and the east border of Veg Hill. This is Veg Hill itself. So what remains now is for us to install the south line of monofilament line, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on today. Our line is going to start at that far pine tree, wind itself around the near pine tree, and then run along these 3 posts until it reaches the oak tree here, goes past it to the hickory, and terminates at that hickory against which the gate is leaning now. That's our line. It's a relatively short run, so you'll be able to watch how it takes shape. This is what the monofilament line looks like. This is the end here. And I think there's metal inside that plastic. In fact, I'm sure there is. When it needs to be anchored to a tree, we're going to use one of these 2-inch staples. When it needs to be anchored to a post, we're just going to put it on top of the post. Here's an example of the line already anchored to one of the posts. McGregor sells you these posts complete with the brace band, and all I've done is put a little stainless steel tie holding the brace band to the monofilament line. This is what the stainless steel tie looks like. It's about 14 inches long as McGregor sells it to you. And we'll use this puller cutter to tighten and cut off the stainless steel tie, and I'll show you how that works. Here's where we're going to be starting our line. This pine tree's a little thin. I wish I had a thicker one here, but I don't, so this is the one I'm going to have to use. Here's how the hook looks. Now I'm going to thread one of the wire nuts on the monofilament line, run it through this hook, and start our run. Here's what the wire nut looks like. It's just going to run through the monofilament line, runs through it, wraps around the tree, and then runs back through it. And then you tighten up the 2 little nuts. It won't let it go, I promise. Okay, I've put that wire nut on the cable. And what I've done is to reel off enough to last the full run and cut it off. I've learned that's the easy way to do it. So I now have the full run of cable already cut and sort of lying on the ground beside each post, and I'll just lift it up and attach it each way at each post. As I do, I'm going to use that piece of lumber you see leaning against the pine tree. I've cut it to exactly 7 feet, and I just use it as a template to know exactly where the line needs to be on each tree. I don't know whether you can see this, but I've been careful not to drive these staples all the way into the tree. And the reason they want you to do that is that this line, as you can already tell, it's got lots of slack in it right now. But as I tighten it up with the tensioner, it's going to pull through that staple, and we want it to be able to pass freely through the staple, and that's why I'm doing it a little loose. This is the top of one of these circular posts, and because I don't have anybody but me here, I can't let Amanda hold the camera and show you what I'm doing as I do it. But I'm going to take the monofilament line and I'm going to put it up on top of that brace band, and then I'm going to secure it with a stainless steel tie and tighten it up with the puller cutter. Now I've put it up on top and I've put the stainless steel tie through it, and now I'm going to pull it tight with the puller cutter. Now I've got the puller cutter in position, and I'm going to try to do this with one hand. I'm not accustomed to doing it. And that, got to have two hands to do the puller cutter. And that's what it looks like after I've cut it with the puller cutter. This is one of the tensioners. I'm going to take it out of its little bag here. Here we are. So what we're going to do is to thread the monofilament line through this little slot, take out this clip, and twist this tensioner until we've got it as tight as we want it to be. And then we'll put this little clip back in at the point that holds the line in place. And this is the tool we're going to use to do it. This is a tensioner tightener. I've calculated that this is the halfway point, and they do instruct you to put these tensioners in at the halfway point, so that's what I'm going to do. And now we're nice and tight. So now we've finished the monofilament line, and Jonathan at McGregor Fence Company says I really shouldn't try to put the fence on by myself, and I'm going to obey him. I'm going to wait for Amanda to get back so we can put the fence on together.